Um, for anyone out there who likes to troll on certain YouTube channels or do any of that goofy stuff, this is a fair warning to you. You will be blocked or reported. Get a life and grow up. So I realize some of you, mainly one, because the only one doing it, tend to probably try to get a reaction out of somebody, but this ain't the channel to do it. So if you can continue to do it, consider yourself blocked for the asshole out there. And right now, I'm not very happy. I'm not. I'm actually pretty pissed off right now. But anyways, before I even get into my topic, this topic that's at hand, uh, not really against anybody who qualifies under this certain lifestyle, but this is the stuff that I saw in Marvel, and I hope it didn't happen in DC. But who am I kidding? Of course, it's gonna happen in DC because DC thinks riding the way of identity woke politics is the way to go these days. So right here, I saw this on once again Bound into Comics, good website. Check it out. DC introduces gay and overweight daughter of Starfire. I rose, not because she's gay and overweight, not because of that. I don't have a problem with that. That's where if you want to be that, you be that. But trying to use that as standing points to introduce a new comic when you realize you're freaking, especially DC now, you realize your brand is going downhill because woke politics. DC, you got some stupid fuckers out there. Yes, I swore. That's how angry I am. Sometimes you just gotta let the beast out. But let me go into this article right quick. Unbundling the comics. DC introduced a brand new character in the form of Starfire's daughter with an announcement of the new young adult comic, I Am Not Starfire. What is up with DC trying to do these young adult comics? Apparently they do not work. And I feel like looking at this drawing, it feels like New Warriors all over again. Just a tiny bit. Matter of fact, who's the baby daddy though for Starfire? Who's baby daddy? Who's Starfire's baby daddy? No, it ain't Nightwing. Based on a press release obtained by The Bleeding Cool, the comic follows the high school shenanigans of a 17-year-old Mandy. I never can pronounce Starfire's real name, but Mandy, whatever Starfire's real name, who's apparently the complete opposite of her mother. And the complete opposite of her mother, if you haven't seen Starfire, anybody who don't know who Starfire is, here you go right here. So, Starfire, this is her daughter. The press release explains that Mandy is a high school outcast, okay, of course, that is constantly trying to get from under the shadow of her bright, bubbly, scally clad and famous mother. This sounds like a hit piece on freaking Fit Women, it sounds like. In order to do so, she dyes her hair bright orange, hair black, spends her days at school avoiding Teen Titan superfans, trying to hide her feelings for the gorgeous, popular, and perfect Claire. I get it. Their daughter probably doesn't want to live in the light of her mother. Same thing with sons don't really want to live in the shadow of their own father. But this right here is not the way to go when you have a failing business at hand. When you can't get people to actually read your comics. When you can't get people to actually buy your stuff. Right now, DC is starting to become a joke, just like Marvel has already. But let me go on with the description. She also tries to avoid spending time with her mother when she's not doing that. Press release implies that one of the main conflicts of the book is the fact that she walked out of her SAT. Great drama. It reads, and a whole bunch of other BS. While Mandy uses, let me read it in my soy voice. It reads, and while Mandy usually avoids spending too much time with her alien mother, she's been particularly quiet as she's keeping one major secret from her. Mandy has walked out of her SAT. And the reason why she skipped, I can't do that forever. And the reason why she skipped on her SAT is that she plans on moving to France, escaping the family spotlight, and not going to college. I guess that's typical teenager stuff. However, things take a turn when Mandy is partnered with Claire for a school project. Oh my goodness, here we go. The friendship develops into something more, and a self-confidence unknown to Mandy begins to bloom. Claire seems to like Mandy for being man, not the daughter of Starfire. So it's basically a story here in this whole thing. It's a whole bunch of blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. But I guess I can't totally be surprised. Oh, yeah. The writer and the artist for this is probably part of the identity politics. She even tweets this. I cannot pronounce names. The writer of this comic, Yoshi, I can't pronounce the last name. I'm just calling Yoshi for now. She tweets, it's just hard being the daughter of a galaxy-wide known super hottie. The book appears to be in vein of DC Comics' other young adult offerings that include Whistle, a new Gotham City hero by E. Lockhart, with illustrations by Manuel Putano. The book describes a protagonist as a social activist who's trying to find their identity. See, I guess this is I don't know about that one, but this also reminds me of the earlier this year with the Gotham High, when Bruce Wayne is all of a sudden a Chinese American and Alfred is gay. And so far with the Gotham High book that came out earlier this year, this is what the ranking of the Gotham High book that came out. The ranking for the Gotham High with the Chinese Bruce Wayne, the book is currently ranked at 134,462 on Amazon's bestseller ranks in books category. And it fares better when it's positioned in the young adult coming of age comic books and graphic novels at 64. There's probably not that many compared to books. However, going on with the article, the book plummets when you switch it over to Kindle's rank. Its rank is even worse, probably by almost 100,000. It's just bad. It's in the 400,000s. Can't even talk right now. In the Kindle store. Needless to say, I Am Not Starfire, the name of this book, is probably going to do the same thing. And I continue to ask, when does DC get it? When they'll finally get that? Doing that will never work for you. It's never going to work for you. It's never. Because people see that comic book cover and they're going to be like, what the hell, fresh hell is this? That's what they're going to be like. I wouldn't read that. It doesn't even look interesting. It sounds like a bunch of teen dribble. And I understand you want to try to do some things new sometimes. But sometimes stuff like that doesn't work. And especially when it comes in the name of woke identity politics, it's always going to crash and burn. Worse than Nate Robinson trying to fight in the ring with Jake Paul. That's how bad it's going to be. That's the equivalent of this. This comic book or graphic novel is going to be the equivalent to that Vanderbilt kicker who's a female. That's how bad that's going to be. Her kicking the ball, it only went 30 yards. A kickoff went 30 yards. That's how bad this book is going to be. If you guys probably don't get my sports analogy, but it's just going to crash and burn. But I guess this is what they mean when the DC fandom came out. This is what this brings when they was talking about the DC fandom. New and more multiverses and all kinds of other BS that probably will never sell. Now we got a non-binary Flash now. Who the fuck is gonna read that? When are these fuckers at DC finally gonna realize that this stuff does not work? And that's sad to see DC go down like this. Like, when I was little, DC, Marvel, stuff like this, Star Wars, it was fun to read, watch, play video games too. Now, it's nothing. These Marxists that come and just destroy everything. And this is what we have right now. Destroyed properties all across the land. And I give big respect to the writers and artists out there who used to work for either Marvel or DC, any other comic book company out there, putting their own stuff out there. Because it's probably 100 times better than the shit that freaking Marvel and DC is bringing out right now. Seriously. DC, you need to get your head, guys, all you people out there working in there, if you guys got laid off already. If you ain't get laid off by now, that's not a freaking wake-up call. I don't know what it is. Do different. Be better, DC. Warner Brothers. I'll include you guys in there, but mainly DC, comic book part. Do better. Stop trying to be stunning and brave. Because this right here, it's never going to work.